Shalom, this is Rabbi Mark Hillel Kunis, and my taste of Torah for Parshat Vayishlach 5781. The central story for me in this week's Torah portion is when Jacob becomes Israel. You know the story. Jacob is alone in the middle of the night. All of a sudden he gets mugged and wrestles with his attacker all through the night. Jacob hangs on and refuses to let this mysterious stranger, who turns out to be an angel, get the best of him. In the morning, the angel pleads with Jacob to let him go. But Jacob says, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And so he blesses Jacob by giving him a new name, Yisrael, meaning Yisra, wrestled or struggled, and Kel, God. As the Torah says, for he has struggled with God and man and has prevailed. Then the stranger disappears and Jacob is left exhausted, wounded, but intact. That's the story. But what does it mean? There's so many great commentaries, and I've included some in my book, Dancing with God. But for now, let me focus on just one nuance. 3 times the Torah makes a point of telling us that they fought throughout the night. Why? I think the point is to emphasize that Jacob held on and never surrendered, even to exhaustion. We all identify with the story because in life, we all encounter struggles that exhaust us. We struggle to eke out a living. Our meaningful relationships are always a struggle. We struggle to maintain our health and overcome illness. Sometimes the struggle is harder than at other times, but it's always there. That's life. All of us know people who have been diagnosed with terminal illness and yet live longer than expected, simply because they refuse to quit. All of us know people who have endured bankruptcy and then came back again stronger than ever because they would not give up. All of us know relationships between husbands and wives or between parents and children or siblings that seem to be impossible to mend and yet somehow have been rebuilt because they simply would not quit. Jacob is the role model for all of us who at times find ourselves in a wrestling match with illness, a broken heart, a broken family, a financial crisis, or with any of the many monsters and mysteries that we must wrestle with in this world. My friends, life can be so unpredictable. You can get mugged at any time, just when you least expect it. It may come at you as it came upon Jacob at a time when he was doing so well. He was a rich man. He had married Rachel, the woman of his dreams for whom he had worked and waited for so long. He had a wonderful family. And now he was coming home. For once in his life, things seemed finally to be going his way. And this mysterious stranger came at him from nowhere, with no notice and for no reason, grabbed him and wouldn't let him go. He threw Jacob to the ground and tried to break him. Does this sound familiar? Hasn't this happened to you and to me again and again? It's happened to all of us with the coronavirus this year, as it did to Father Jacob. The lesson that Jacob teaches in this story is that endurance is what counts the most in time of trouble. Anyone can be brave for a day. The test of character is if you can be brave day after day and endure the sea of troubles that sometimes threatens to overwhelm us and not give up. The test is if you can have hope all throughout the night until the dawn comes, as Jacob did. Jacob was called Israel, meaning one who wrestled with God, because he struggled and prevailed. We are the children of Israel, and so I pray that now, as we are tested as never before, that each and every one of us will prevail as well through this pandemic. Have a great Shabbos.